Stumpy is a male Ankylosaurus who was born on Nublar sometime between late 2011 and early 2012. He is the older brother of Bumpy and is more of a red color rather than his sister's green color. Stumpy gets his name because he has small, blunt plates all over his back and head. Like Bumpy, Stumpy has a growth mutation, but unlike her, he is 60% larger than a normal Ankylosaurus instead of being 60% smaller. Due to being a male, Stumpy was kept in a private area by the park because only females were allowed to be showcased. Stumpy remained on that part of the island for a few years, feeling alone and unwanted. One day, however, just before the fall of Jurassic World, some men who Stumpy had never seen before came up to him. One of the men was none other than Daniel Kahn, the head of Manticorp. He planned on transporting the specimen to the facility where he would undergo some experiments. Though a little hesitant at first, Stumpy soon learned to trust them and willingly went inside the boat to be transported to Manticorp. When he arrived at the facility, Stumpy was transported to the desert biome. At first he loved it because he had a lot more space to roam around and felt like he had more freedom than he did back on Nublar. Along the way he made new friends who lived on the island. There were no other Ankylosaurs, but Stumpy wasn't too fussed about that. About a week later, the men walked over to Stumpy again. However, this time it was for more malicious reasons. One of the men planted some type of chip on Stumpy's head, which confused him at first. Then the chip activated, shocking him, forcing the Ankylosaurus to scream in pain. He got angry and tried to fight it, but the men soon gained control and he was under their command. They planned to use Stumpy in fights because of his size compared to other Ankylosaurs, and they saw him as a potential warrior. It wasn't long before Stumpy was given a sparring partner in the form of Asset 87, who would later form a rivalry with Stumpy and become his Toro. During the experiments, Manticorp found out that not only was Stumpy larger, but his armor was also more durable. This occurred when 87 lost a few teeth during one of the spars. The tests went well, but one day, Asset 87 attacked Stumpy and accidentally destroyed the chip on his head, giving Stumpy control back. The Ankylosaurus didn't hesitate to attack the facility and go on a rampage, killing some of the men in the process. They sent Asset 87 after the Ankylosaurus, and the two fought some more, but this time Stumpy had full control and was able to fight properly. He whacked Asset 87 in the head so hard that it knocked the dinosaur unconscious. Stumpy then continued to run away, trying to escape. He managed to reach the beach and began swimming. By the time the men got to his location, he was already out at sea. This angered Daniel, for he had lost a valuable asset. Meanwhile, Stumpy swam in the middle of the ocean for days at a time until one day he somehow made it back to Nublar. By then, the park had already closed, and Stumpy found himself wandering the island in peace. During his time on Nublar, Stumpy went through a bunch of trauma. Sometime in 2016, he fought an E750 that escaped Dr. Wu's lab. This E750 was a green color with yellow stripes on its back, much more vibrant than the other two that attacked a certain group of campers. When it fought Stumpy, the two were evenly matched. When the E750 tried to use its venomous quills, Stumpy's armor was able to deflect the quills. It wasn't until he hit the hybrid with his tail so hard that it stumbled off a nearby cliff and impaled itself on some sharp rocks, killing it. While Stumpy was victorious in defeating the E750, his luck would soon run out in 2018. When Mount Sibo erupted around Nublar, Stumpy unfortunately met his demise and died while trying to escape the island. Stumpy had a very terrible and traumatic life going from Nublar to Manticorp back to Nublar. The saddest thing is, no one knew about Stumpy's death, not even Dr. Wu, and he soon became a forgotten asset.